Welcome back, all my tech mixers. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, ever since the Wheel of Time trailer dropped. You may have noticed from the content on my channel that I am excited for the Wheel of Time TV show, which is a little over a month away. I'm giddy about it, and I'm looking forward to watching it with my wife and my son. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about the potential structure of the TV show and how it can be adapted from a 15-book series. And before we get into it, cue the theme song.
Oh, he's technically Mexican and 3/4 American, but for 3 generations he's got that nationality. Great-great-grandpa headed south, whose kids had kids then turned around. It's not what the show's about, but it's why he's Mexican technically. It helps that he was raised in New Mexico, lived in Guadalajara for 2 years, speaks fluent Spanish with a bachelor's degree in language, and makes a mean taquito.
I do make a mean taquito. Let's talk about it. So, I posted a reaction to the trailer when it first dropped, and it got a lot of views. It was exciting. It also got a lot of comments because of a little thing that I said in the video.
They put money into this project, which is smart, because if they do it right, they could get 14 seasons. They probably can't get 15. Well, no, I mean, because the last book, see, normally, you come into that problem, and they'll split the last book up into like 6 movies, right, to milk it. But the last book is already split up into 3 books. So I don't think you can do that with this one. And the 15th book is a prequel. So I think you can really I think you can only get 14 seasons of a TV show and just do 1 book a season. Of course, Game of Thrones split one of the books into 2 seasons, but then they smushed 2 of the books into 1 season too. So it came out equal.
And there you have it. I said this, and that spawned quite a few comments. So many people commented saying the same thing. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So, most people are under the assumption that it's set in stone that the show will be 8 seasons. And I wanted to provide a counter argument to that. It may be correct, but at this point, it's still not certain. The source these comments are pulling from would be from this article, which I was fully aware of and had already read prior to watching the trailer. Let's get into it. Rafe Judkins, the showrunner, appeared at a Comic-Con, and people were asking him, how do you adapt the books? That's a daunting task. And he said, I feel like my danger will never be running out of books. There's plenty of source material. Good. I think it's more the challenge that we face is how do you tell this story the most cohesively and the most coherently in what is a reasonable number of seasons in television. It's something I really set out to do right from the beginning. I think you really need to know the end of your story when you start telling it. I think that's true for television, even though it's serialized and goes many years. That's a great way to approach it. Kudos, baby. And then where we're getting the 8 seasons from is from this statement. I sat down and broke out what I thought 8 seasons of the show might look like before I started writing the pilot, because I felt like you have to build in this knowledge of where you're going and how you're going to get there from the very beginning in order to tell the stories the best you can. Okay, so this is where we're getting the show's going to be 8 seasons from. But it could be interpreted 2 different ways. This statement could be saying, as many people assume, I have sat down and planned out how to tell the 14 books in 8 seasons. Or he could be saying, I have sat down and planned out the first 8 seasons. We don't really know which is which. And I don't necessarily think it's unwise to jump to the first conclusion because of the context in which he said this. He said you want to know the ending. But we don't know for certain. Also, other factors that we need to consider are how many seasons does the studio want? So he might want to do this in 8 seasons, and then the people who are paying for it might swoop in and say, oh, no, you have to do it in 6. Or, oh, no, we want to milk it, baby. Give me 20 seasons, right? We just don't know. Now that that's been sorted out, I actually think that this comment was a really good way of putting it. In adapting the TV series, we're not looking at 14 books. We're looking at 3 years. Like, the story of the 14 books spans 3 years. And so that's probably a better way of mapping out that's a good way of looking at it. Sure. I'm just excited. I'm so excited to see season 1. I'm like scatterbrained just thinking about it. By the way, so it could very well be 8 seasons. Or could be more, could be less. Probably not less, unless people don't watch it and it gets canceled before it gets to 8. Which would be sad. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, and thank you for leaving the comments. I just like talking about this stuff. I thought it would be fun to try and break down how to best structure the series using the source material from the books. And I quickly wanted to point your attention to, if you're not already aware, after the trailer dropped, Rafe Judkins and Rosamund Pike got together for a Q&A from using questions they got from Twitter, and they answered a lot of questions. And there's a lot of good stuff they answered. This is a nice little diddly talking about how they're trying to use as much practical effects as they can that are enhanced by visual effects. And I think that's the best way to go about doing stuff that looks good. As a side note, this is what's important, okay? So, if we're trying to analyze how the show is going to be structured, if it's going to be 8 seasons or 14, it's important we need to know what season 1 is going to look like. So, Rafe answered this initially. How much will season 1 cover? Season 1 will cover book 1, plus a little bit of 2 and 3. But also not all of book 1. There will be some of book 1 that happens in season 2. Cryptic answer. I am under the opinion that season 1 will mostly just be book 1. And just because it's a good introduction to the series, and it has a lot of stuff happen in a reasonable finale. The elements from books 2 and 3 that I think will be included in season 1 are going to be stuff from the White Tower. And elements that are more heavily featured in later books that you don't really see in book 1. For instance, book 1 is told almost exclusively from Rand's perspective, but very quickly the series veers off and has millions of viewpoints, and the story is spread equally among, I don't even know how many main characters you could consider the show having, because there's so many large viewpoints. So, the series naturally evolved over time and got more complex, and so I think it would be wise to retroactively fix, not book 1, not that book 1 needs fixing, but to retroactively make it more similar to the rest of the books. I think the best way to do that, if we're including elements from 2 and 3, is to do White Tower stuff. So you get, or world building things in Camelin and all over the world. That makes sense to me. I don't think the season 1 will take a lot of material from 2 and 3. I think it will be very minimalistic, just extra flair world building stuff and seeing more than one perspective. Now, this is also kind of confirmed by Brando McSando. A couple days ago, he dropped a little YouTube video on his channel talking with one of his friends, and he was asked this question about the show. Let's play it.
Still, I'm mostly doing it because I'm now a producer on a bunch of TV shows, right? I'm a producer on the Wheel of Time show and things like that.
Nice.
Most of my duty on those is read screenplays and talk about,
Of course. Should we be worried about the Wheel of Time series?
No, we shouldn't.
We
Straight.
shouldn't?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. It's really
Because that's a tough
is.
nut to crack. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that.
I'm really pleased with season 1.
Okay, good.
We haven't dug much into season 2 yet, but season 1, there are no bad screenplays in the lot, and there's there's at least one 10 out of 10.
Right, okay.
For me. I would just really enjoyed the process.
Is it one season, one book?
Yes.
It
Well,
is.
the first season is one book.
Okay.
So we probably will need to combine for future seasons.
I would think. But Eye of the World is kind of...
Eye of the World is season 1. So I hope I'm allowed to say that.
No, that's
You
fine.
get me in trouble.
No, that's fine. I'm just taking a breath because
Yeah.
we're all, we're obviously we're waiting very
Yeah.
much for that.
So, Brandon Sanderson also confirmed here that season 1 is basically just book 1. He also admitted that it's very possible further on down the line they will have to squish books together. And I think that's doable. So, I wanted to try and map out on camera how that could be done. And how we're going to do it? With a tier list, baby, because I'm jumping on trends. I don't know how to set these up myself, so I just use this website. And we're going to break it down. I think the best way to try and figure out how 15 books could fit into, and let's just take 8 seasons. Let's see if we can fit 15 books into 8 seasons. Let's see if we can do this. I think the best way to analyze how that could work is to just talk about the climax of each book, because that's the biggest part. There's a lot of setup and other ancillary things that happen throughout the books, but the most important part of each book is the big event that happens at the end. And the Wheel of Time books have they have a similar structure in that most of the book is build up, awesome finale, and then the next book cools down and then builds up to another finale, which is how books in general work. Okay? It's nothing new. So, I wanted to use this tier list to try and map out which finales, which climaxes are the most important, so we can try and figure out which finales we need to prioritize keeping in the TV show and how that could work over 8 seasons. It'll be fun. The first challenge of this game is seeing if I can put the books in order to start off with. Keep in mind, I am relatively new to the series. I have only read through the series once, and it was on audiobook because I'm dyslexic and I did a lot of I used to do a lot of physical labor, and I would just listen to audiobooks while I worked on menial physical tasks where I didn't need to use my brain. I have since purchased the whole series in physical copies, and I'm currently rereading book 1 physically before the show comes out, so I'm excited. And granted, it has been a long time. I started listening 3 or 4 years ago. It took me a while to finish. It's a long series. And I also have the disadvantage of having listened to them on audiobook. I didn't have the physical books in front of me, and I didn't see the title every time I picked it up. So this is going to be a real challenge, trying to order them. Also, I just need to quickly insert here that by the time you're watching this video, I will be virtually attending the New York Comic Con because there is an exclusive, albeit pre-recorded, panel on the Wheel of Time with the showrunner and most of the actors minus Matt. I bought a ticket just for that, and then only today they announced it'll be live streamed for free, but VODs will be behind the paywall. Oh well, if you haven't noticed, I'm excited for the Wheel of Time, and it wasn't that expensive. So I will be reporting on that tomorrow, so you won't get a Model Citizen video. Sorry about that. And I don't know how much of it I can show, but I'll definitely be talking about it. So, look forward to more Wheel of Time content coming tomorrow. And it should be pretty obvious, but the rest of this video is going to contain spoilers for the whole Wheel of Time series. So if you haven't read the books, you probably don't want to watch. I'm literally talking about how all of the books end. And I love you, but go. This is your warning. Bye. Well, New Spring is the first, but it's the prequel. That one goes first, chronologically. And we know Eye of the World is the next or first book because it's the one I'm reading right now. Okay? I also happen to know The Great Hunt is number 2. One of my favorites. I loved The Great Hunt. And that one is followed by either The Dragon Reborn or Shadow Rising. It's the Dragon Reborn, because he has to be born before it can rise. That's the order of that one. Also, I think it's fascinating how quickly these books opened up. Book 1 started off pretty small. You saw a couple different towns and like, oh, this is interesting world building. And then it was from one point of view. And then book 2 kind of opens up. You get kind of like 2 different stories going on at the same time. And then book 3 just like cascades out, goes crazy to the extent that Rand isn't even in the book, and I was 100% okay with that. You only see Rand at the end of the book, and the whole book was told by the secondary main characters trying to figure out where Rand was. I absolutely love that. That's the Dragon Reborn. And then the Shadow Rising, he goes to the Isles. He travels there, and then he is the Lord of the Chaos. That ends with the he fights the Shidos, and then he goes to the other city and kills Elaine's mom. Oh, did he? Lord of Chaos, right? Yes. Then the fires of heaven, because the fires come down from heaven in the best climax of the series. We can just put that in S right now, but I'm going to leave it in order. Because hot diggity Ashaman dang. This is where it gets hard. Because the slog kind of blends together. So let's go to the end. We got Gathering Storm, then Towers of Midnight, then Memory of Light at the end. Okay. Crossroads. Oh, man. The Knife of Dreams is the last one before he died. And it was real good. You're gonna hate me. You guys are gonna hate me. You're screaming out what the order is, huh? Knife of Dreams. Then he died. Yeah, because you can see there's extra space underneath because he added a Brando Mixando. Shoot. I don't know how to order these four. I think I want to go like that. I think Path of Daggers comes right before Knife of Dreams. Winter's Heart. No, Winter's Heart is the second one. I think it starts Crossroads of Twilight, then the Crown of Swords, and Winter's Heart, Path of... I think... Final answer. Eye of the World. Great Hunt, Dragon Reborn, Shadow Rising. Lord, Fires of Heaven. No. Oh, no. I mixed those up. What have I done? I'm so sorry. I've failed you. I've mixed up Fires of Heaven, Lord of Chaos. It's Lord of Chaos. It's the good one that has the... Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, what else did I get wrong? A Crown of Swords is right after that. Okay. Then Path of Daggers. Then Winter's Heart. Crown of Swords of Twilight. Knife of Dreams. I'm so sorry. I'm so ashamed. Well, it's been a long time, okay? It's been a long time. Now that we've got them in order, let's rank the finales. Now, I'm definitely not throwing shade at any of these books because I'm not judging the book. I'm just judging the big finale event. I want that to be clear. New Spring, I really liked the prequel. Doesn't even need to be in the show at all. They will probably include elements in flashbacks. That only makes sense. Okay? New Spring, we don't need it. The Eye of the World. It's an okay finale, but necessary for the TV show. But finale is probably about there. Great Hunt. This has to be a season finale. The Sean Chan showing up, putting choker necklaces on the girls, making everybody emo. That came out of nowhere when I first read it. Shocked me to my core and opened my eyes to, oh, this is not what I thought I was reading. And then big fighties and stuff in the sky and white cloaks. That has to be the finale of season 2. So we're already on a bad track if we want to keep it in 8 seasons. Dragon Reborn, it's a good finale. It's not super necessary. Shadow Rising, better finale. Fires of Heaven is a really good finale. The whole book is based the finale starts like halfway through. You got the big fight with the Shido. You get Matt killing the bad Shido boy. And then you get Moraine stepping through the gates with Landfear. and then, as if the book hadn't already climaxed, we teleport to a whole new city with a whole new climax. You can't... That's a top tier climax. Lord of Chaos. Not Falma. Demise Wells. I gotta look it up. Shoot. Boom! I've got Demise Wells. I've got my cheat sheet here summarizing every book. It took a long time, and it was the span of several years of my life. And I read them just back to back, and I didn't space it with any other series, so they blend together a little bit. Forgive me.
I'm so excited to watch The Wheel of Time with my dad.
It's going to be so fun watching it together.
I wonder what the final fight is.
What's the first book called?
Wheel of Time.
That's the series. What's the book called? The first one. Book 1. What I'm reading.
The Eye of the World.
I'm so excited. Okay, go to bed. Go to bed, you monkey.
Ow! You just bit my butt.
Go to bed. Good kid. Okay. Demise Wells. I was right. Crown of Swords is can't even remember. It's the Shadow Logoth fight with Rand. And it's the Shadow Logoth fight with Samael and Matt fighting the golem in what's the city called? Ebadar. In the Bowl of the Winds. Not a bad finale, not super necessary as a season finale. Could be mid-season. Path of Daggers. That's a good finale. The grueling advance of soldiers in the war, and then Kalendor backfiring, and Rand accidentally killing a bunch of his own men, and then going home only to be betrayed by the Ashaman. Pretty important and good climax. Winter's Heart really slows down here. They cure Sidene. That's the finale. It's a good finale. The rest of the book is not as strong, and it's not a necessary finale. Crossroads of Twilight doesn't have a finale. Like, Rand doesn't do anything in this book because he's recovering. Egwene gets kidnapped by the White Tower mid-season. Knife of Dreams. The Knife of Dreams is one of the best books. It's not one of the best finales. Just, like, character arc-wise, phenomenal finale. But, like, action-wise, it's not, like, the greatest finale. What else happens in Knife of Dreams? You get the reveal that Moraine is still alive. Trapped in the Snaky Boy Tower. What a reveal. But, like, as far as action goes... Rand gets his hand chopped off, right? So there's a fight with a Forsaken. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. We're in trouble. If you haven't noticed, we're in trouble because I don't know how you split up the last 3 books into anything other than 3 seasons of TV. I mean, The Gathering Storm. You've got the You got the Dragon Mount, and he blows up a whole city. You could... It's already 8. Because this has to be a season. We're going to move it up. Oh, man. That's 8 already. How do you get that set? I think you could squish these into one season. You can't squish Gathering Storm. Gathering Storm brings too many pieces together. You could take parts of Towers of Midnight. You could split Towers of Midnight between Gathering Storm and Memory of Light. You could do that. The last 3 books could be 2 seasons instead of 3. Should be 3. But if we have to narrow it, because you've got... the Gathering Storm, you've got the Black Aja reveal too, and you could do that. You'd have to change the order of events and put, like, Egwene's finale mid-season, and then Rand's finale at the end, with elements of Towers of Midnight squished in. And just leave Matt's... There's so much that happens in these last 3 books. I would say that's less important. Obviously, most important. We got to move this up because it has to... We already know it's a... So we're at a problem. We got a problem. I don't know if you can see what the problem is, but that is 10 seasons. If you split Towers of Midnight, it's so hard to do, though. Because you got Perrin's and Matt's, and then a big old fight. Like, I think it's possible. That narrows it down to 9 seasons. You have to have the Eye of the World. We already know we have the Eye of the World. You have to have the Great Hunt. Dragon Reborn. Okay. Oh, it's presentation mode. It gives you a presentation mode. Okay, so now I've changed it up a bit, and we need to cast the books into their seasons. New Spring is just sprinkled throughout, whatever prequel stuff, right? Flashback. Eye of the World is season 1. Great Hunt is season 2. And I think you could squeeze in the beginning of Dragon Reborn. I love Dragon Reborn so much, but it doesn't deserve its own season. Split Dragon Reborn between 2 and 3. Its climax is mid-season 3, okay? Shadow Rising is the finale. There's a lot of traveling in Shadow Rising. You could cut a lot of that out and just skip to Rudion. Fires of Heaven already has a mid-season and a finale built in. And I don't think you can... See, we're already in a bad spot. We're running out of space! We're running out of space! Oh, man, I hate to do this. This is literally breaking my heart. Because Lord of Chaos is literally the greatest finale of all time. The greatest climax of all time. It's so good. But the rest of the book is a little slow. It might not deserve a season finale. You maybe do mid-season finale Lord of Chaos, Crown of Swords finale. Because Crown of Swords, you've got... This is controversial. I think you do that. I think you can do that. I think you can put most of this stuff before the finale of Lord of Chaos and still have Lord of Chaos as the finale. Because this is where everyone leaves Rand. Oh, but Perrin, you could just have Perrin leave at the end. Who cares? His arc lasts so long anyway. His arc can start later. But some of the other people could leave and start their thing and not be present at Demise Wells. It'd be tough, but it's less exciting that way. The finale of Crown of Swords, no. Because you got the fight in Shadow Logoth with Samael. You could do it this way. I think there's a way for that to work, but you could also do it this way and just have Lord of Chaos mid-season finale, which is gutting. Path of Daggers. And here we are running into Le Problem. 4 books. Those are 4 books. Okay. New plan. Oh, this sucks. I hate this. This is not an enjoyable experience. You sacrifice Fires of Heaven, skip most of Lord of Chaos, and just jump to the finale. Like, maybe he gets captured at the end of Fires of Heaven. Then you can do Crown of Swords, Path of Daggers. Like, nothing happens in these books. Then you could do something like that and have these, like, happen simultaneously and put the finale of Crown of Swords at the end. This is a heavy season. That's going to be a heavy hitter. This isn't just Gathering Storm. This could be elements of Towers of Midnight and Gathering Storm. The last 3 books need a minimum of 2 seasons. I would like 3 seasons, but you can't do it in 1. That would be stupid. It needs 2. That works. There's my 8-season plan. That's tough. I do not envy Rafe Judkins' position here. Anyway, if you stuck around this long, this is a bit of a longer video, but I feel drained. I feel dirty. I didn't like this. I really don't like this. I don't like what's happening here. But I think it's necessary. I think you have to. Anyway, maybe try doing this and telling me, you break it down, baby. In the comments, tell me how you'd butcher this pig. Bye. Bye.